Production can be overwhelming. The vast amounts of data that go into a project, assignments, resources, working files, reviewable media, paired with aggressive deadlines, can easily be stressful without a scalable tool that helps keep us on track. Shotgun is a secure, powerful data management platform that enables studios to work faster, better, and more efficiently. Trusted by thousands of creatives worldwide, Shotgun is a central hub that unifies production management, the creative process, and pipelines. Shotgun empowers artists to be more creative while finishing their work on time and on budget. Let's take a quick tour. Starting from the Projects page, we have easy access to everything we need in Shotgun, like reading messages in our inbox, selecting a project, and configuring our user settings. We can see all the things we're tracking in the Project Nav. Here, we're tracking assets and shots with the film template, but Shotgun ships with other templates like games with levels and TV with episodes. We can customize the Project Nav based on our team's needs so they can be more efficient. Shotgun tracks everything from projects down to versions to keep producers, creatives, and technical teams united. Selecting from the Project Nav, we can see a list of all the assets, and we can select one to see all of its tasks, notes, media, and other related information. Our team stays connected by following the activity on an asset. Now, when somebody creates a note, submits media, or changes important information, we'll see an update in our inbox. For each thing we build, we have a set of tasks. The Tasks page shows us a full list of tasks that need to get done in the project, along with important information such as who the task is assigned to, the reviewer, start date, due date, and bid information, so producers can effectively steer teams. We can adjust data via fields, or can update more visually on the Gantt. And when tasks are assigned to creatives, they'll see them in Shotgrid Create, a desktop experience built on Academy Award-winning RV technology. Shotgrid Create allows artists and reviewers to focus on their creativity by keeping them closer to their desktop creative applications in high-performance native playback. Reviewers will see all the work that needs immediate attention and can converse with the artist, even in different locations around the world, accelerating the review cycle. And artists can see all of their tasks, submit media, log their time, and launch into their creative apps from My Tasks in their task view, so they'll never have to switch context. And they can load and publish work from there. RV is also available with Shotgun for best-in-class performance playback and integrated color management for use in a screening room setting. For managers and coordinators who take notes during review sessions, Shotgun has a review notes app where we can quickly type notes, which are saved as drafts so we don't have to worry about losing anything, and then publish them all with one summary email. When we're ready to share content with our client, we can share it securely via the client review site. Clients can easily review and approve media using free client review accounts. Lastly, Shotgun allows us to extend its functionality with the Python API and REST API, and offers plug-and-play integrations. Want to learn more? Join discussions with our team and our clients at community.shotgunsoftware.com. And visit our website to start your free trial of Shotgun. You can create a new project from the Projects page as soon as you log in. Production can be overwhelming. The vast amounts of data that go into a project, assignments, resources, working files, reviewable media, paired with aggressive deadlines, can easily be stressful without a scalable tool that helps keep us on track. Shotgun is a secure, powerful data management platform that enables studios to work faster, better, and more efficiently. Trusted by thousands of creatives worldwide, Shotgun is a central hub that unifies production management, the creative process, and pipelines. Shotgun empowers artists to be more creative while finishing their work on time and on budget. Let's take a quick tour. Starting from the Projects page, we have easy access to everything we need in Shotgun, like reading messages in our inbox, selecting a project, and configuring our user settings. We can see all the things we're tracking in the Project Nav. Here, we're tracking assets and shots with the film template, but Shotgun ships with other templates like games with levels and TV with episodes. We can customize the Project Nav based on our team's needs so they can be more efficient. Shotgun tracks everything from projects down to versions to keep producers, creatives, and technical teams united. Selecting from the Project Nav, we can see a list of all the assets, and we can select one to see all of its tasks, notes, media, and other related information. Our team stays connected by following the activity on an asset. Now, when somebody creates a note, submits media, or changes important information, we'll see an update in our inbox. For each thing we build, we have a set of tasks. The Tasks page shows us a full list of tasks that need to get done in the project, along with important information such as who the task is assigned to, the reviewer, start date, due date, and bid information, so producers can effectively steer teams. We can adjust data via fields, or can update more visually on the Gantt. And when tasks are assigned to creatives, they'll see them in Shotgrid Create, a desktop experience built on Academy Award-winning RV technology. Shotgrid Create allows artists and reviewers to focus on their creativity by keeping them closer to their desktop creative applications in high-performance native playback. Reviewers will see all the work that needs immediate attention and can converse with the artist, even in different locations around the world, accelerating the review cycle. And artists can see all of their tasks, submit media, log their time, and launch into their creative apps from My Tasks in their task view, so they'll never have to switch context. And they can load and publish work from there. RV is also available with Shotgun for best-in-class performance playback and integrated color management for use in a screening room setting. For managers and coordinators who take notes during review sessions, Shotgun has a review notes app where we can quickly type notes, which are saved as drafts so we don't have to worry about losing anything, and then publish them all with one summary email. When we're ready to share content with our client, we can share it securely via the client review site. Clients can easily review and approve media using free client review accounts. Lastly, Shotgun allows us to extend its functionality with the Python API and REST API, and offers plug-and-play integrations. Want to learn more? Join discussions with our team and our clients at community.shotgunsoftware.com. And visit our website to start your free trial of Shotgun. You can create a new project from the Projects page as soon as you log in.
Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. We see that the participants are still joining, so we'll just begin with the session. So just give me one quick minute. All right, perfect. Okay. Right. A very good afternoon once again to all of you. I am Shirish Yadav. I'll be your host and your moderator for this session, which will focus on embracing collaboration with Shotgrid to overcome various challenges faced by animation, VFX, gaming, and post-production industry. Moving ahead, we will understand how technology adoption will help you in short runs as well as in the long run. Okay, so just to give you a quick overview about this session, so this is organized by Capricorn, and we are one of the leading platinum partners with Autodesk and have been a solution specialist for the M&E industry for more than 3 decades. Okay, having said this, on behalf of Capricorn Technologies, Autodesk, and Life Pixel Technologies, let me take this opportunity to thank you all for taking out time from your busy schedule and attending this session. We wish to make this session interactive and engaging at the same time. So yes, definitely you can expect some poll questions coming your way, and we expect you to be responsible about them so that we come to know the kind of how we need to position our content. Okay, so let's please welcome our speaker for the session. So let me just start by sharing my screen. So I hope that my screen is visible to all.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah. So here we are to embrace collaboration with Shotgrid, and we have the speakers for the day today with us. We have Mr. Indranil Guha with us. He's the creative director with Life Pixel Technologies. We have Mr. Samit Shetty as technical solution manager from Autodesk for M&E. And we have Gunjan Panchal with us, who is the senior solution specialist with M&E Capricorn. Okay, so we have 3 specialists here, one from the industry, and both of them operating as technical specialists. I hope that all of you make the best out of this session. And yes, we welcome questions. We have reserved a special time for the Q&A session at the end. So we will declare it, and please keep your questions noted and put them in the chat box once we declare them. So with this, let me just take you through the quick agenda for the session today. So we'll start off with the introduction, which I've already done. So we'll start, the next session would be taken up by Samit. He will be taking you through the Shotgrid experience. We'll have a quick walkthrough about the tool as well with Gunjan, and then we will have our guest speaker for the day. A quick welcoming to of our guest speaker for the day by Samit, and then we'll roll the entire carpet for Mr. Indranil Guha to take us through the experience that he had, live experience that he had with by using Shotgrid, and then a quick Q&A session concluded and the conclusion as well. Okay, so over to you, Samit. You can take this from here.
Cool. Thank you so much, Shirish, and a big thanks to the entire team of Capricorn, and of course Indranil for spending some time out of his busy schedule, deliverables, and trying to come here and share some time with the audience, sharing his experiences with the audience on Shotgrid. So thank you so much once again. Well, let me just introduce myself. I am Samit Shetty. I'm the technical solution manager with Autodesk Media and Entertainment, and I take care of India and SAARC. And I come from a production background, so I know both the sides, and I also know the pain points which most of you guys as a customer are going through now. So today, as Shirish has already mentioned, that we're going to talk more about a very unique, different kind of tool, which is the production management tool, which kind of for many years we've been neglecting or ignoring, or maybe have been trying to fix it with some old traditional tool, thinking that production management is a manual process and it has to be a manual process and so on. But we never understood the importance of production management until some few years back, and then hence the tool was implemented. The tools were developed specifically for these kind of workflows and deliverables, and hence we know the importance of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the process of why Shotgrid and how Shotgrid works, followed by a live session from Gunjan. Okay, and then we're going to hear from the actual customers how they have experiences Shotgrid in the pipeline. So I'm just going to play a small video. This is a very common video. Everyone of you guys are aware of this workflow. This is nothing different, but what I'm going to talk about at the end is maybe a game changer. So let me just play this video for you.
Every animation starts with an idea. It usually takes a huge community of artists to see an animation through production. These artists are separated into teams called departments. Each department has a specific purpose to help build the final animation. This system is called the animation production pipeline. In early development, a small team of artists create concept art, character design, and storyboards. After the approval of the visuals, they go to the next department. In the modeling department, modelers use specialized software to interpret the designs into 3D sculptures. After these models get approved, they are sent to the rigging department. Riggers give the characters the ability to move by building controls for the animators to use. This complex process is often automated with scripts so that the same controls can be used on several characters. Parallel to rigging, the look department develops how things like skin, hair, and cloth will look in a scene. They add texture and define how the objects respond to light. The next department is animation. This is where the characters come to life and tell the story. Once it's perfect, animations are baked into a geometry format that stores one pose for every frame of the animation for simulation and lighting. The simulation department creates items that are secondary to the performance and things that are too complex to animate by hand: water, hair, cloth, etc. The last stop is rendering. Rendering is the process of generating an image to produce a sequence ready for final assembly. Complex scenes could take as much as 24 hours for a single frame.
Was there a audible? Because I could hear the audio.
It's a whole lot of waiting. The process of animation takes a lot. The pipeline may not always be linear, and sometimes departments have to send files back and forth.
All right, so this is a very common practice. All of you professionals already know about this workflow. Why did I show you this? Okay, this can be an animation workflow. Similarly, we have a separate workflow for VFX and for gaming and so on. But what was lacking is you can see these many teams working together, these many workflows, and there would be a lot of to and fro's. So we've spoken about all these divisions, right? But we never speak about the most important aspect, that is, how do we manage all this chaos? You can see the lines going zigzag everywhere in different teams. People who have been working in production already are aware of these kind of chaoses, coordination, and all these things. So we need a very strong production coordination tool, and that's what is lacking today. And if we have that in place, we would definitely need a tool which could talk to each other, which could reduce the chaos and makes those complicated lines simpler. So that's what the whole idea of Shotgun or Shotgrid is. Now, many of you guys have already heard about Shotgun. I might, or maybe even Gunjan might keep talking about Shotgun and Shotgrid, but it's not a different tool. We rebranded Shotgun to Shotgrid on 7th of June. That's because we all know that Shotgun was an acquired tool by Autodesk, and then we needed some time to adapt it into the Autodesk licensing ecosystem. On 7th June onwards, we migrated the entire thing to the Autodesk ecosystem, and hence we rebranded Shotgun to Shotgrid. So for a couple of months, maybe we would still use these two terminologies, Shotgun and Shotgrid, which is absolutely the same. Now, this is a new Shotgrid, but the branding is different, but the product remains the same. Now, let's understand about what Shotgun or Shotgrid does. Now, we all know that currently, even before pandemic, we've started, people have been working in different corners of the world, right? People have been using multiple softwares, and it's not just 5 or 10 people members. They're like hundreds and hundreds of people working on maybe one project and multiple projects at a time. And what would they use typically are tools which are available for free, multiple tools to coordinate, be it Excel sheets, Google Drives, emails, sticky notes, or a video player which would play some video files. Now it's very easy if you are working on one project, because one project requires multiple people, lot of coordinations, emails, sticky notes, all these things going across. But we all know that nobody works on just one project at a time, right? In today's time, we've been loaded with projects, we have been loaded with content which is need of the hour. And as you see, this is just one project workflow. And as I said, we don't just work on one project at a time. Everyone tries to get as many projects as possible, and it's so easy to get lost in a chaotic world where you have multiple projects, multiple emails, sticky notes all going through across. So what do we need is a single source of truth where we all kind of be or depend on one tool, where we just have to go inside that and study where we stand today, where are we progressing, and how far are we from deliverables, and so on. Instead of keep calling everyone, instead of checking emails and so on, this becomes a very unified environment and a strong tool to work with. Now, after pandemic, every house has become an office because everyone is working from home. Like, unlike before, 100 people working from an office was a facility, but now I think every home has become an office. So the need of coordination becomes even more important. And how are we going to reduce this? Now, also the another challenge is each facility has a very different pipeline. Each facility works with multiple different file formats and different time zones, right? These are the other challenges which we all face, right? Secondly, for an artist, the main problem is the client comes at 5 p.m. and says, right when he or she is about to go home, and it's like, hey, where is the last model which was approved? You need to render that, and because I need to deliver it. And you have no idea where the last model is because the person who has modeled this has already left for home. So you or anyone who is trying to find out this file has to go through a lot of series of files, recent files, because we all know as an artist we save all file names as the latest or recent. So that's another problem. Similarly, a designer who has a deadline for tomorrow and needs to show the latest design to a client because the client has approved maybe 30 odd designs and different versions. So which one is the latest one? We have no clue. At the same time, the manager has got a call from a client saying, hey, you would need to deliver something over this weekend. And the manager has no clue which artist is on leave because it's a weekend, which artist is available, but he or she is busy on some other project. How are we going to identify all these challenges? The traditional process was call everyone, send an email, wait for the email or wait for the revert. But that's not the point. And we've been spending a lot of time managing, calling, coordination, and that's what we don't need anymore. What we need is a production management tool, a creative collaboration tool, and an integrated workflow tool, right? So when we say production management tool, a tool which can create projects, schedule work, and assign tasks to artists and even track their progress. When we are talking about creative collaboration, it's about a single source of truth where you have a fully automated review tool, as well as history of those reviews are maintained. And at the same time, we want integrated workflow, which means nobody's working with one software, right? Shotgrid is not a tool where you're going to do your creative jobs. Also, you're going to depend on a third-party tool, Max or Maya or Nuke or anything. Even software should be this Shotgrid should be integrated with these tools so that you don't spend time moving out of one tool to another. That's the whole idea about having an integration tool. Now, common practice, we all know that, hey, we spend 70% time doing creative work, and we spend 30% time in collaboration, like finding out where the files are, coordination, and all that. And the ultimate goal is to have, what if we have 100% time spent on creative tasks and eliminate completely the coordination time? Okay, I won't say 100%, but there would be maximum 90 to 95% of time spent on creativity and very less time spent on the coordination. That's the whole idea that we want to reach out to. And ShotGrid does that all because it allows the team to stay connected. It has, all the tools required to do your creative task as well. Hence, ShotGrid is a right production management tool because it manages design, project schedules, capture reviews, and automatically manages the data for processing. ShotGrid has become much more powerful because also of its web interface, because of the web interface, it's not a tool that depends heavily on as like a software which has to be installed. Because it's web interface based tool, a person can access ShotGrid from any part of the world. Also, it has desktop tools which has integration with the creative DCC tools, and its API, which is much more powerful which helps a studio to customize ShotGrid based on their own integrated workflow. So these are the things which make ShotGrid much more powerful. And as I said, ShotGrid was born in the animation visual effects industry, and now slowly it has started expanding into other industries as well. Because it's just a coordination tool, it's a production management tool. It really doesn't matter whether you're sharing animation files or VFX files or game files or design visualization or manufacturing or construction. It's eventually a coordination or production management tool. So it has been heavily accepted by design manufacturing industries and architectural industries as well. So it's increasing its footprints in all these industries. And because ShotGrid is fully customizable, your data is online, you can completely be dependent on it. Now, let's talk about the media and entertainment, because we know a lot of our colleagues today are from the media and entertainment thing. These are the industries which are using ShotGrid. And this is, again, in the last few, like 6 or 8 months, the footprint of ShotGrid has even more increased. This is the old data which I'm sharing, and you can even see IKEA, which is not a media and entertainment company, but they're using ShotGrid to coordinate and do a very good asset management. It's used over more than 75. It's used over more than 75 countries. Sorry, is this? Over 75 countries and more. It's also used over cross industries. That's again exactly what I said. Now let's focus more on the media and entertainment industry. How is it used? Because as I said, the workflow around the world is becoming more and more iterative. Reviews and collaboration are the need of the hour. Okay. VFX shots are increasing. Now we all know, forget about pre-pandemic, even pandemic, we all know that the shoots have restrictions. You cannot go out and shoot. So what's happening is a lot of shoots which was possible outdoor are now happening within the studio against blue and green screen, which means adding more number of VFX shots, right? And there are more number of VFX shots. Again, it has to be distributed to different people, different artists, or different facilities, which means there is a lot of coordination required. Again, jobs have been distributed to different countries, and shots per episode, because we also have episodics. There are lots and lots of shots now being added to episodics as well. So these means projects are growing and we need a lot of coordination needed. So how does ShotGrid work is, I completely it's a very simplified, and as I said, it can be accessed from any part of the world because it's cloud based, right? So your entire data, not the high resolution data, but the data, the metadata sits on the Autodesk cloud, on the cloud, which can be shared to an artist. The artist submits the job to a visual effects supervisor. The supervisor approves or maybe rejects and asks for a change. It comes back to the artist, and once the artist submits it back, it can be sent to an internal review or an external review within the ecosystem. So it's a very simple process. The entire workflow is managed in cloud, and because it's cloud, you don't have to transfer files or something. It's all based inside ShotGrid. What ShotGrid can do is it can manage tasks. Of course, we're going to show you in detail. Gunjan is going to take you through the actual interface and explain you how does it work. But just to tell you, you can do your crew planning, you can do your task assigning, and you can also have your dependencies. For example, if you have a modeling task which is followed by a texturing task and rigging and animation and so on, these are the dependencies which you can set and assign tasks to your artist based on the previous task which is completed. Okay, so that's the best thing to do. And when you do this, when you fill the schedules, it automatically sends an email to all the artists, like these are the dependencies and so on which I was talking about. You assign the work, and artist gets a notification um, that they have to do this task or do this project within that given time. Okay, when he or she finishes it, it goes to the next step, the next dependencies and so on, the next pipeline step. So it's pretty easy, right, in that way. You also have a Shotgun Create, which basically is a desktop-based review tool where you can create your edits, where you can line up all your shots and check which shot needs to be approved first, which is the what is the workflow. Also, if you want to open the Maya file through Shotgrid, the Shotgrid desktop can help you do that, because you can just quickly create a model and submit the task from Maya itself. Now, this is something which I'm showing you a video, but Gunjan is going to show you live, so I'm not worried about it. That's what Shotgun Create and Shotgun Desktop helps you do. Also, you can create your own playlist. For example, many times the artist will send jobs to the supervisors will review, and if there are 100 shots, the supervisor will review all of them, and once it is approved, the supervisor or the team lead can send it to the next level. It can be the client or anyone. So the supervisor can review all the shots like a timeline based thing, one after the other, and once he or she wants to do some annotations, they can just stop at that particular frame, get the review tool, do the annotations on the video, and move ahead and do the annotations on the next frame, and so on. So this way, it's more comfortable for a supervisor or the team lead to directly draw on the video file and then submit it back to the artist, where the artist knows which frame has a problem and where is the problem actually lies, and it becomes easier for the artist to do the changes and send it back, and when the supervisor can match it with the previous and the next shot. So it's as easy as you are able to see, right? So that's the beauty of it. You also get a RV player along with Shotgrid, which is the high resolution player. You can just not just play low resolution, but also high resolution files, and apply lookup tables and so on. And when you write, if you want to write a feedback or comment, you can directly write it from the RV player itself. And when you submit the job, it gets reflected into your Shotgun page also, which means you do not have to shift applications from RV player to Shotgrid and back to RV player. Whatever feedback you give from RV player gets reflected in the Shotgrid page as well. So that's how it is integrated together. And as I said, you can be any part of the world, and if you're maybe catching a flight in the airport, you're not able to open the laptop, you can access Shotgrid over your phone as well. So, and Apple has an iOS app for Shotgrid, whereas Android guys can use the web browser and do the same. So it's as easy as you can see. You can also do annotations and so on. Now, we all have clients, right? Because clients are the one who gives us jobs, and then we have to make sure that we give them the task and we give them the final result to show them that whether this is approved or no. So you don't need to buy separate license for the clients. You can just add their email IDs and just shoot an email with all those files which needs to be reviewed. The client can directly access their email. It opens as a web page, and he or she can just review, add changes, add comment, feedback, and they can send it back to the reviewer. And based on that, you also have a list of the client review list, which you can access at any given point of time. Now, finally, reports. Like, we've seen how artists work, we've seen how the supervisor works, we've seen how production manager works, because they're the one who assign tasks. And if an owner of the facility who is running the business wants to see the update of of a project, he or she does not have to call the artist, call the supervisors, or call the team leads on to know the process, the progress of the entire project. He or she can directly access the ShotGrid report page and see the progress of the assets, see the progress of the animation, see the progress of deliverables, what revert has come from clients and feedback has come from clients, and where are we standing today as compared to the deadline. So it's very easy for even the owner to get a bird eye view of the entire project and then take a decision on based on the deadline coming nearer and so on. So these are the features which we really get the benefit out of it, because as I said, if the owner wants to just hover over the graphs and see that, hey, these many shots needs to be finished, these many shots have already been done, and these many shots are on hold, everything can be monitored through this graph page, and every single detail can be reflected on the ShotGrid by just adding fields or customizing it in a basic manner. So to overall summarize what ShotGrid is and how ShotGrid is powerful is because of its strong foothold on the film and television games. ShotGrid has been the most successful production management tool in the industry. Key wins includes leading global visual effects studios because of the adoption of ShotGrid by these big ones. They also outsource a lot of jobs to the smaller studios, and they request the smaller studios also to be on the ShotGrid pipeline so that the communication becomes easier, and workflows around based our shots and assets can be tracked at any given point of time. So these are the points which make ShotGrid, and of course the review and the reports which are really remarkable in the ShotGrid page. Now, all what I have said is obviously theoretical thing, but why don't we look at what I said in a practical way? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen and let Gunjan do the live demo in front of you guys. So here, Gunjan, I would like you to talk about ShotGrid and also show the audience how actually ShotGrid works quickly over the web page. So I'm just going to stop sharing the screen and let you do the rest.
Yep. Thank you so much, Samit. Hi guys, good afternoon. So I'm Gunjan here. I'm a solution specialist at Capricot. Okay, so I usually take care of orientation, demos, troubleshooting, trainings, and stuff for Autodesk products. So what I will, and that was an excellent overview or insights what Samit gave to us about what ShotGrid is all about. So let me just share my screen and take you through the actual how ShotGrid rather. Samit and me have this habit of not getting used to ShotGrid recently, but we will gradually. So I will just show you how actually ShotGrid looks like and how you can manage your flow from ShotGrid to your DCC app, like I will be using Maya, and back to the ShotGrid. So just for the heck of it, I'll be switching off my video because I'll be saving few of the bandwidth. Okay, because I will be using Maya and ShotGrid side by side. Okay, so let me just share my screen. My screen is visible, right? Just give me a confirmation, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so ShotGrid is nothing but, see, like say as Samit told, like if you are a small facility or a big studio or a medium scale studio, anybody can use ShotGrid. Okay, so it is a very intuitive tool for the production management. Okay, from 10 people to 50 people to 1,000 people around the globe, everybody gets connected on a common platform. Okay, so if you haven't started using ShotGrid, it's the time you actually integrate this production tool in your pipeline. Okay, so like again, I would like to say, like what Samit told, we use emails, data sheets, Dropbox, chats, WhatsApp for communication. Now this is what I like to call it as a human pipeline. Okay, like we have a production pipeline, this is a human pipeline. Okay, because human are using multiple softwares for collaborating, for communicating. Okay, so there is always a scope of human error. So for that to get into a scheduled way, we have this production management tool. Okay. So what you are seeing right now on my screen is my Shotgrid side. Okay, I have what I have created for my company. Okay, so what you will be getting is this Shotgrid site. You can just create your studio site in 3 simple steps. Okay, and you will be you are all set to use it. So when we log in into that, like normally we log in into Maya, Autodesk, any Autodesk software, Max, Maya, Flame. So you get a sign in and password. So similar to that, in Shotgrid also we need a sign in password thing, and what you get is this screen. So when you log in, you will get a global navigation interface. Okay, like this menu, what you see there, the global navigation bar. It will have information about your projects, about all the pages you have used, about the people in your department, like in your studio if you have various departments. Okay, and there might be a lot of artists working in some in modeling department, some texturing department, matte painting department, whatever. So all the people who are involved, okay, will be seen in this tab. So this is basically the global navigation bar. Okay, let me go back. So when you and this is my old page of the site. So we have all the projects which I have been working on. Okay, so these are few of the demo projects. If you are new to Shotgrid, you will be seeing some demo projects which you can access and make use of certain case studies of these projects and integrate it in your pipeline. So let me just open one of the project for you. So when you open any project, what you will get is a project time navigation bar. So this is my global navigation bar. This is my project navigation bar. So project navigation bar will have certain menus related to the project, like assets, shots, sequences. Like say for example, if you are a game studio, so you might have a pipeline, like first you will do a level, then you will be doing a sequence, then you will be assigning some assets, some task, and so on and so forth. If you are doing a episodic a OTT movie or a film or anything, so you might have seasons, you might have episodes, you might have short sequences, assets, task, and so on and so forth. So this all entities we can manipulate, we can add, we can edit it. Okay, we can like say for example, if this is just an animation project, I need the asset and the task to be there. I don't need to the shots to be visible. So I can remove this particular tab from my navigation bar. And if I want to add, suppose the vendor tab in this, because I'm outsourcing my project, so I need to add certain vendor tabs here, so that also can be done. So basically Shotgrid is wholly customizable, okay, according to your need of the project, need of the studio. Okay, so now let's say when you are working in a team. Okay, so there are lots of personas, like as Amit described, there might be managers, there might be supervisor, TDs, artists, pipeline developers, booking manager. So there can be lot of departments, lot of persons working on a common platform. Okay, so the tools which manager require might be completely different what artist might require. The tools what artist might require, supervisors won't need that. So depending on what persona suits you, Shotgrid is customizable according to the need of that. Okay, so say for example, if you are a manager, so the manager task is majorly planning, assigning tasks, assigning teams, assigning certain assets to the teams, managing the whole thing, weaving the reports, tracking the reports, and ultimately getting the overview of where the project has reached. So the manager has to know everything from planning stage to assigning stage to the completion stage to the report stage. Okay, so for that, if I see, so I'll just show you how this flow goes on. So let's say first, if we take a case study of planning, a manager needs to plan a certain project. Okay, he wants to assign certain people to certain projects, he wants to plan everything out. So we have a very intuitive tool known as crew planning over here. Okay, so when I go to this crew planning, okay, so we have all the artists which I have added, okay, to my people's group. So let's say for example, artist one, I want to assign him from this to this date. Okay, for this game project, so I will say assign a project to this artist, so it will be assigned, let's say, from this date, on these 2 days, he will be required to work on some other project. It is a very small project and he just wants to give a normal model. So I will assign from this date artist will be occupied for this particular project. Okay, like say for example, this artist will be on vacation for a couple of days, so I will say assign a vacation to it. So I will be knowing which artist is available to me, okay, which artist has planned the vacation, which artist I need to assign which project to. So whatever project I need to assign to whoever artist, okay, I can simply plan my schedule. So this becomes really intuitive for a manager to assign the projects to a certain artist, okay, to assign to view which artist is available when, okay. And even if you see this, and this is very helpful, when you assign task to it and when you assign a date to it, it will automatically calculate Saturday Sunday is off. So deadline what it will set is excluding of this weekends. Okay, we can also like say for example, some studios have only Sundays off, they don't have Saturdays off, so they can also customize to getting Sunday as a null day. Okay, so according to that, everything can be planned. Okay, so this is basically the crew planning app for all the artists or the people in the department or in a studio, which a manager can plan. Okay, and there is a another tool which has been introduced. Okay, apart from this crew planning, okay, we have resource planning. So this will give you, I won't go much deep into this currently, but this will basically give you a graphical view, a diagram about your resources which are being utilized, underutilized, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are a couple of things which helps managers to plan certain things. Now let's say he has okay, he has assigned all the crew members, he has assigned all the projects, he has set the stage. Now what he needs to do is he needs to work on assets. He needs to assign the assets to a artist. Okay, so he will go, I am a manager right now, so I will go to my asset menu and I can add a asset over here from here, or I can also, if I have say multiple assets to be added, I can also import a list of assets. If you have some Excel or if you have some WordPad in which you have a list of assets which needs to be directly imported, so you can import it together also in a bulk format. Okay, so this is my asset task. Now let's say I want to I'll just show you how you can do or add this asset. Now depending on what type of asset it is, like say for example, asset can be a character asset, it can be an environmental model, it can be a matte paint, okay, it can be a concept art. So depending on what type of asset you want to add, we have certain field known as type field. Okay, so this type field, if you I'll just on this. So in this type field, we have certain category of your asset, like asset maybe of character, environment, prop, effects, whatever. And if you want to edit this asset, it's pretty simple. I can just right click, I can go to configure field, and you can just add or subtract whatever you require. Let's say I don't require this graphic, effects, prop, I will simply delete it. If I require something else, I don't require vehicle, I will delete it, and I will say update field. So what will happen is in this list, whatever you have updated over here will be updated in this particular list. Okay, so it will be very easy to segregate your asset. Okay, so let's say for example, if you're creating a game, so there might be environmental asset, there might be weapon asset, there might be vehicles, and there might be a character asset. So you can segregate your assets according to the type of category. Okay, so that becomes really easy for a manager to group your assets and assign to a particular artist. So this being done, let me just add a test asset. Let me just say test maybe house. Okay, I will say go to type, and this is my maybe I will just say this is environment asset for example, and I will say create asset. So when I go to my environment, I'll just off this right now. So if I go over here, a test house asset is created over here. Okay, I can upload a thumbnail if I want. I'll just choose okay, fine, let's say upload. So a thumbnail will be uploaded, so it will be easier for me to view. It will just take a couple of seconds to refresh. So it will show me the asset which has been added. Now if I, let's say as a manager I have assigned all the assets. Now I want to apply certain tasks to that. I want to assign certain artists to work on this particular house model. Okay, so what I will do is I will click on that test house. Okay, I can go to the task also, but if I click, I will be able to see all the activities which are happening on this asset. Okay, if I go to my tasks, right now there are no tasks assigned to it. Like this house will require, say for example, it's a model of a house. So it will require a base model, it will require a low poly, it will require a high poly. Okay, so these are certain pipeline steps which will be required to creating this asset. So I can create a task for that. Now this what I'm doing is I'm creating a manual task. So rather than creating a manual task, what a manager can do is, I will cancel this. I will go to my site preferences, and we have something known as task templates. So what I will do is I'll go to task templates. Okay, there are certain by default templates available which you can definitely use. If you want to add your own template, like say for example, this is my environmental task, environment as an entity type. This is maybe an asset. Okay, so it will add to this asset. This task template will be added under the asset. Okay, description you can just write it, and I will say create a task template. So environment template will be created over here. Now here you can create common task, like say modeling. I will say pipeline step as a model. Okay, and I will say create task. Okay, I will say again add task. This is my next will be my texturing, for example. Pipeline step will be texture. I can just click. I can add multiple. Suppose I going to rig after that. So I will say rig, create, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this I can go on adding the task. I can set the dependencies, like after modeling texturing will start, after texturing rigging will start, or after modeling rigging should start with some other artist. So that way I can select, I can also define the dependencies. Okay, so let's not much dive into that. So I will try to keep it as simple as possible. So this template is created. So likewise, I have created one template already, like a modeling template, which I will be using for my house, which will have a base model, which will have a low poly, and which will have a high poly as my task. So I want to assign this template to the asset. So what I will do is I'll go back. Okay, I'll go to my assets. I'll go to my test environment, test house. Okay. Just give me a second. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Here I have apply task template. If this window is not on, I can go to field and I can on this task template over here. Okay, so if these fields are not on, so we have all the fields over here which you can keep on and off. So in this task template, I will say apply task template, my modeling wala template, and I will say modeling, and I will say apply selected. Okay, so now automatically what has been done is, now if I click that test of mine, okay, test house I will click. So automatically this task are assigned here. Okay, now let's say I want to assign this to a artist. So let me just assign to myself. Let's save. So all these three tasks have been assigned to me. Okay, I can just type in the duration of it, like say this should take 1 day, this should take 2 days, this should take 2 days. Okay, and maybe I will just define the dependencies, because only after base model I can start with the low poly version and then with the high poly version. So I can just do the dependencies as finish to start. So what happens is, say like, let's say I want to I need this Gunjan to work on this project from today. So I will just click in 13. All the dates will be, calculated automatically according to the duration what you create. And because I have created the dependencies, okay, it will give you the start and end date completely. So you will know, okay, on 19th I should receive this house model from Gunjan. Okay. So this, now I have as a manager, I have defined all the artists, all the tasks, my job is done. Now comes the persona of an artist. Now artist needs to start working on this. So what he will do is, let's say I will go to my Maya. Okay, I'll just refresh it. I'll just take a new scene. The task has not been updated, so let me just say, yeah. So now this task has been I said test house has been assigned to me. So as an artist, when I open my Maya and when I open my Shotgrid panel, okay, so I will be able to see what task has been assigned to me. And as an artist, if I go to my browser of the Shotgrid and I go to my task, because manager requires a lot of tabs, but as an artist, my tab should be only my task, nothing else. So what I will do is I'll go to my task and I will just see what has been assigned to me. So let's say I will say base model, which is to be started today. Okay, so I will start it today. Okay, so this way I can just view my page, my task page. Okay, not all the different tools. So let me again go to Maya. Now let's say, for example, I've started working on the base model. Okay, so I don't have a file to work on. So let me just create a simple box over here. Let's Now I want to I want to link this asset to my shotgun integrate. I want to integrate this into Shotgrid rather. So what I'll do is I'll go to my Shotgrid and I will say publish over here. Now this particular box file has to be published under which task? So I will say it has to be a test ka base model. So I will select, test house it is. So one sec. So lot of, as Samit told, there are lot of latest versions. There are a lot of, you know, uh, test house. Okay, yeah, it is created in the base model of the test house. Now, if I want to create a snapshot, I can create a snapshot. I can write a description like, please check this base model and approve, or whatever you want to write as description. Now, let's say I will, sorry, just close the window by mistake. I'll just type approve for right now. Okay, I don't want to publish. Yeah, I don't want to publish this play blast. I just want to begin working with this file. So I will say publish this box. So box1.ma will be, linked to your Shotgrid. I will close this. Now let's say if I go to my Shotgrid page again, okay, and if I see the activity over here, okay, I will be able to see. It will take few seconds to refresh. Okay, thumbnail will be uploaded here, and whatever note I have provided, it will be viewed over here. Okay, so this particular as a manager, I will be able, right now I am the manager, I am the artist, so there will be two profile icons, but I will, as a manager, I will be able to see what artists have published. Okay, now again, let's say my day's work is over and I went home and I want to again start working on the same file next day, but I don't know which file it is. So versioning is also pretty easy. So when I say load over here, okay, I will go to my assets, I will go to my environmental assets, I will go to my test house. So whatever I had, loaded my Maya file, it will be visible over here, and I can just double click and start working on that file. Okay, now let's say if I have I have edited certain things, and this is my final, let's assume this is my final model, and I have created certain play blast, and this is my high poly version of the model. Okay, so what I can do is, let's say if I'll just simply create a small, very small play blast of maybe 50 frames. Okay, so I want to publish this. Okay, so what I can do is, again, I can I'll just save this. Okay, right now I haven't kept the versioning on, that's why I am doing it manually, but you can keep the versions on, so you won't need to worry about the versioning. Also, it will come as version 01, 02, whatever format you have set, it will come according to that. So I will again go to my publish. This time I want to publish my play blast. Okay, let me just take a snapshot of it. Okay, this is my play blast. Publish. I haven't play blasted actually. So instead of that, just imagine this is my play blast, because it will take a little time to create certain play blast, because normally play blasts don't take time, but because my Zoom is also taking much of my bandwidth, so I haven't really play blasted from here. Okay, so now when I go to my Shotgrid again, let me just refresh it. Okay, so on which model I have created. Okay, it hasn't published. Just one sec. I just create play blast. Okay, and okay, just save it over here. Where is it going? Projects animation. House. Save this. I can also attach this file. Okay. Two movies are uploaded. Okay, I hadn't defined the task which it needs to be uploaded. That's why it didn't happen. So let me just say base model only. I will just say publish. Wait for a second. Come on fast. So what will happen is all the play blast, all the files, it will be visible under your activity. See, like this has created a publish on this asset. Okay, so everything will be visible over here. Okay, so likewise you can easily communicate with your artist. You can communicate like let's say I am not happy, or I am not convinced with this. So what I can do is I can just post a note on it. Okay, so my artist will be able to see the same note in his this thing. So if I go to my activity, okay, if I go to my notes, so I am not convinced. Within a second, less than a second, this note was communicated to my artist. Okay, and in my Shotgrid also, if I see everything is every activity what my artist has been doing has been automatically visible over here. And if I want to see, I have seen the play blast but I'm not happy with it, so I can just annotate like what you need to change, like say change this corner, change this corner, whatever. I can also write a note to it, like say change this. I will say submit. Okay, it's done. Now if I go to my task panel, I'll go to my task. So whatever annotation I have done, so change annotation, it will again take a little time to load it. So whatever my manager has told me to do, it will be visible to my artist. Okay, so this becomes really easy for him to communicate with the artist. So this becomes the manager artist persona. Now let's say if you are a supervisor, so we have this media group for that, because supervisor has a lot of normally bottlenecks happen in the studio because of this, because there are lot of versions, lot of iterations. Normally artists push to the supervisors to check and to approve. So there might be hundreds of versions pouring every minute or every hour in a studio. Okay, so for a supervisor job to view all the media becomes a task. So what he will do is, as a supervisor, now I am the supervisor, so I will go to my media tab, and whatever versions my artist has uploaded, I will be able to see. I can see it project wise, I can see it if I want to see all the playlists together, if I want to see the assets what are happening, if I want to see the versions what are there in the projects, everything I'll be able to see in one window. Okay, now let's say if I want to comment on something, let's say for example I have this concept art which I want to, this is a JPEG, normally it can be a movie file, it can be anything. So if I want to just again change this color, if I want to annotate something, if I want to just do something, I can easily write a note to the artist. Okay, so as a supervisor, I have communicated to my artist very well. Now let's say he wants to he wants to push this particular approved media to a client. So what I will do is, let's say, suppose for example, these two medias are approved. Now I want to create a playlist for it, so I will say create a playlist. Okay, so this is my playlist what has been created. Now this I want to push it to the client to review it and approve it. Okay, because he has demanded it, so I can go to my share, I can share via client review site. Okay, so basically client review site is free for client to view the playlist what you will be sharing with them. Okay, so both the medias will be shared to the client. There are certain settings you can set, like your client cannot edit, or he can only view, or he can view and edit, he can comment on it or not. All the settings you can do when you are sending the playlist. So you can invite the people, and you can just type in the security purpose, if you need a password to open this playlist. Okay, because this is very sensitive information, this is very private information, okay, what you are sharing to the client, so it should not be leaked. So for the security purpose, they have certain settings which we can set to, like this playlist will expire in whatever days after sharing, or so on and so forth. You can apply password and so on and so forth. So this particular thing you can invite to multiple people, like say if you have 4 directors to send to, so you can just add the email IDs of 4 recipients, and the common playlist will be shared across them, and they can view it in their browser or mobile or laptops, whatever media they have handy with them, they can view it on the spot. Okay, so and the best thing about this is, say if you if you want, especially for the post production guys, if you are working on Flame or a Premiere or After Effects or anything like that, so we need certain footage to be viewed in true colors. The color management becomes really important for that. So because what it does is, when we share this playlist to the client, the Amazon server will compress the media and share the files. It won't be too low res, but it will have certain lower resolution. But if you want to view a 4K file or a 2K or true native format high res file, then we have something known as RV media player. So when we share when we install, when we ask the client, or when we internally, if we want to view the media in the screening room or something like that, so we can always use RV desktop media player. So this player will show you the footage or any media what you have shared in the real native format, okay, high res format. Okay, so we have a couple of options for reviewing. We have screening rooms, okay, like whatever playlist I have done, so I can simply use it to view in my screen. So all my team will be there, and I will just on my screening room, and I will view my media together. I can line up my media together, I can view my media together, and so on and so forth. I can comment again, I can make notes, I can make notes. I can also, see the related versions to it. I can see all the history, what has been going to and fro. Okay, so this is the whole idea about starting from the managers to artists to supervisors to client. Okay, so I hope I was able to justify what Samit was trying to. Samit was, explaining before in his presentation. So this is the practical demo, and Samit, over to you for your inputs.
Thank you so much, Gunjan, for the in-depth explanation of what ShotGrid is all about. I'm sure that the audience must have got a fair idea about how ShotGrid uh, workflow is all about, and how ShotGrid is helpful to all different kind of people, not just one person and one persona in the organization, but for various. But we've been technical guys. We've been talking about ShotGrid a lot. So why don't we hear from the person who has already been using ShotGrid in their facility? So let's have Mr. Indranil Guha, the creative director of Live Pixel Technology. So Indranil, we would like to hear from you on your experiences about ShotGrid, because I know that you guys have been using something else, and then you moved to ShotGrid, and all the advantages, challenges, what you faced versus how it got solved using ShotGrid. So Indranil, we would like to hear from you.
Sure. Am I audible?
Yep, you are.
All right, that's great. I'm Indranil Guha. Creative Director at Livepixel Technologies. So Livepixel Technologies, have been present for more than a decade now into other activities of entertainment and media. And just off late, around a few years back, we started this 2D animation section. So it is a division in itself, and we started small, and then we grew up to a fairly large unit at the moment. And while Samit was actually describing about big organizations getting out of control, I could connect with that, because initially when a team is small, actually it's very easy and controllable. And but then as and when we keep growing, the problem is that we lose control. We lose control on the number of people. We lose control on giving work to them. We lose control on a lot of things, actually, that leads to a chain reaction to a lot of other problems, actually. So I'll start with this presentation once again. Yeah, my screen is visible. Yeah. Okay. So, during this short span of time, we have done some of these, domestic work and international work as well. And we have now, I would say, probably elevated ourselves into doing international work, which is fairly prestigious and all. A lot of those, I'm sorry, I cannot disclose those, but then, we are just doing that. So some of them are like Sab Jholmal Hai, Little Singham. I'm sure everyone knows these. Simba. We have been seeing this on OTT platforms, television channels, and other places. So the challenges as we grew, actually, the challenges that we faced are, first of all, the task allocation. It's when there are a lot of people, it's very difficult to actually understand, who is on leave, or probably keep track of who is on leave, and if someone is already working on some shots, because our pipeline is very organic. It's not so linear. It's always so, in every company, it's never a linear pipeline, no matter what. I mean, we might say that it's linear, but it's never linear. There are so many dependencies that are very organic. So, one of the reasons why actually we thought of Shotgun is, one of the questions when we were deciding about Shotgun being our tool was that we have always heard about it in visual effects. We have always heard about it in 3D animation, but never in 2D animation. It's very rare, actually. But then actually, when we saw these problems, these challenges that I'm just mentioning, these challenges are common in all. Like, for example, production tracking, asset management, the assets that we have, the data that we create, and over time, the volume leads to so much huge amount that it's very difficult to actually remember what exists where. That leads to data loss. It leads to data duplication, a lot of issues. Likewise, versioning, we don't come to know which one is the latest version. Sometimes there are human errors like version has been incremented, but then it has not been reflected into the Excel sheet, stuff like that. And I think the biggest problem, the biggest challenge that we started facing when we grew big, was the feedback mechanism. Because of the hierarchy, there are supervisors, team leaders, and there needs to be a feedback process which is very optimized and which doesn't lead to loss of time. I mean, the moment an artist finishes a work, the supervisor needs to immediately know that okay, there is one work that demands the supervisor's feedback, and that needs to be addressed immediately. Otherwise, there is a loss of time. Likewise, even the artist, it would be, in all fairness to the artist, he or she would need an immediate feedback. So all these things lead to wastage of time. And when we are multiplying this wastage of time into the number of people, it goes leaps and bounds, and it gets beyond control. And another challenge was there was no reporting system. I mean, we could know that there were problems, but we couldn't probably pinpoint, and we couldn't see a whole chart wherein we could see, okay, and pinpoint, okay, there's the issue. So these were challenges actually. And the majority of the reasons why these challenges were lack of efficient communication. I mean, it's virtually impossible for anyone to be so precise on the communication that there won't be any wastage of time or loss when the number of people increases, and there are human errors and we cannot avoid that. And there are geographical limitations, like with the unfortunate pandemic. People started working from home. We had to probably have teams situated elsewhere in different parts of the geography, and that only increased our problems actually when it came to controlling the whole system. Then cost controlling. We cannot have we cannot keep on hiring people for each and every small minor responsibilities. So people had to multitask, and when they were multitasking, there were errors. And it's not their problem actually. It's not their I would say it's not their problem. It's natural. There were too many dependencies, and the scale up chaos that I initially mentioned. We when we are small, we think that we can control and smoothly expands, and suddenly we realize that it's full chaotic. We don't understand. So these were the causes. So it resulted in a lot of rework. There were artists sitting doing reworks on stuff they have already done. There were sometimes delay in allocation to an artist, handing over from one artist to the other, and even in the feedback mechanism. So all these multiplied, and eventually it led to delays in production deliveries. So to the clients, to our clients actually. So which is not a good thing actually. So because of all these issues, although artists, they even if they give their 100%, there are frustrations because the company is not doing well. Simple. So, and there were instances where we lost some good artists. They had to leave the organization, and we didn't even have a productivity tracking. We were facing challenges in that. Because of the volume of people we had and the volume of projects we were doing simultaneously. And that's when we thought that we needed something that is strong, that can take care of all the challenges that I just mentioned. And basically we needed something that could bring the whole organization to one platform that would update everyone simultaneously. There could be a level of automation that we could involve in areas which doesn't require human intervention. Those are simple things that can be taken care of by automation. So we needed basically a kind of a backbone, and we needed to have a virtual ecosystem that everyone is hooked on to, no matter where they are existing, no matter what department they are in, no matter in what hierarchy levels they are in. That and all these, of course, to avoid any kind of loss of time. So yeah, and we tried a lot of things, and so the solution was, of course, Shotgrid for us. And one of the main thing is that, as I told, we thought that a 2D animation platform would be very challenging for Shotgrid to handle, because there are a lot of things that probably doesn't exist in Shotgrid. But when we deep dove into it, we realized that it can handle any kind of a work pipeline. And one of the main things is that it's very customizable. That's one of the key feature, I would say. For me personally, since I'm a creative director, my biggest boon in that, the best thing in that, is the feedback mechanism. I just love that. The very fact that I can immediately understand, I can immediately see what anyone has done, I can give a feedback the way I think, and the moment I give the feedback, it immediately reaches to the particular artist. It kind of keeps everyone on the same page. So that's one of the biggest thing I felt was really very good. And the same thing actually also translates into our relation with the client. Client always needs a transparent system. They like transparency. I mean, even if there are valid delays, they are still fine with that, provided we keep them up to date. We let them know in advance that okay, there might be a delay. So they like that kind of a transparency. At the same time, whatever we are doing, they need to see that, they need to give a feedback. And for them, the most important thing is we understand what they are trying to say in their creative aesthetic sense. So Shotgun enables that. The feedback mechanism that I was saying, it enables even the client to kind of give the right feedback, and for us and even the artist to understand, okay, this is what is exactly required. We tried a lot of other things. I probably don't want to mention the name of those softwares, but then none of them actually worked. I mean, we even tried a combination of few multiple softwares. Even those actually didn't work, frankly speaking. I'll be frank. Shotgun looks vast. It looks humongous, mammoth. But then actually, when we go inside, it's quite intuitive. From an artist perspective, from production perspective, from a creative perspective, from the manager's perspective, it is very intuitive, and we can easily actually gather the information that we need. That would probably help us, to make the whole workflow and our ecosystem simple and easy to understand. So I think these are some of the main points why we chose Shotgrid, and of course, for the things that we feel on the fly that we need, of course, Autodesk is just a phone call away, and they're always there. And it's an excellent they have excellent technical support. I mean, there are some tools we have used, some Russian tools as well. So the problem is, of course, if a good service is not there, it's a huge problem. I mean, we don't want to get stuck in the middle of projects which is live. So it really helps. So I think yeah, and the best thing I like is it kind of enforces everyone in an organization to follow a process, and that makes everyone much more disciplined. And a disciplined organization is always a success story, I'd say. So with that, I probably conclude my discussion.
Cool. Thank you so much, Indranil. That was really a great insight about how customers are looking Shotgrid as, because we've seen as you said, when you see Shotgrid, it's like a mammoth, and people fear about it. But once they just try to swim inside it, it makes life much more easier and easier and easier. And then we've seen customers who cannot live with Shotgrid because they're so used to managing things very easily and processes being streamlined and so on. So thank you so much once again, Indranil. And I would hand it over to
Sure, most welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you once again to all the speakers. So I think all of us had a great time, listening to and going through the walkthrough. Now I think we move to the Q&A session. So so quick instructions and regarding the Q&A, please put your questions in the chat box. If you want to address it to a specific speaker, then please start off with to Indranil or to Sumit or to Gunjan, making it much easier for us to for them to view the questions and answer it to them. If you have anything which is very specific and you want detailed information regarding the whole usage, I think it will consume a lot of time here, but surely you can write it to us. You can write to us on at mumbai@caprecord.com, or you can reach out to me at 9311172516. But please, I'm sure that most of you have some queries, so we'll just give you guys few minutes to put it in the chat box. We'll wait for 1 more minute and we'll see if anyone has any questions. All right, so if there are no questions, then I think the session, everyone has understood the session well.
Yes.
Okay, so to conclude the session, we have Sharat sir here, okay, from Capricorn. So please welcome Sharat sir. He would be addressing you all as a thank you note from over to you, Sharat sir.
Yeah. So primarily, let me thank Indranil for his time and that valuable session. Really appreciated. It was quite, to the point in terms of what the benefits it could provide. Samit, I need not say more or less about you in the sense like you've always been there. I mean, there's so much that you have contributed and helped us through your demonstrations and sessions. Gunjan, of course, you did a great job. So thank you, all of you for having participated in this webinar and the participants for having waited patiently in terms of hearing all the technical specialists. So thank you again, and I'm sure if you have any queries, we'll be there to solve your answers. You could mail to us, or you could connect to us either through our email address or through phone, and I'm sure we could help you all out. Yeah. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks everyone once
Thank you.
again, and have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.
Goodbye.